Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Colin for YouTube, and I'm here to do a Dark Shadows video. This Somebody had asked me in the comment section, have I ever done a video about Gerard Stiles, or the ghost of Gerard Stiles, and I don't believe I have, so I'm going to do that video now. Now, who was Gerard Stiles? Gerard Stiles was a boat captain who took Quentin Collins and his son in 1840 out to the sea, and Quentin and his son were lost during a very violent storm. Yes, Gerard did try to save him. Quentin confirms all this when he does actually come back with his son, who they're both alive. Gerard thought they were dead, and even Quentin admits he thought they were too. He thought they were goners. Now Quentin comes back to Gerard being married to Quentin's wife, who's not. They're all shocked, right? Like, Quentin has returned. Oh my god. David Selby's Quentin got himself another wife, who he's not gonna kill. He's not gonna kill. I'm sorry, but it's amazing because Gerard Stiles becomes a ghost, but it's not Gerard himself who's the ghost. They're taking the shape of Gerard. And you might say, well, how does Gerard's ghost come in 1840? That's the interesting part. After Barnabas Collins and Dr. Julia Hoffman come back from 1970 parallel time, you would think, well, hey, they're going to come back to 1970 normal time, right? Nope. They are going into the future, all the way to the year 1995. Turns out it's not too bright of a future. Quentin's gone mad. Carolyn's gone mad. Collinwood is destroyed, pretty much. A wreck. The place is just doomed. And it turns out that a ghost named Gerard Stiles haunts the building. Quentin tells them about Tad. David Collins dies. I mean, this is grim shit here, right? So, you might say, well, I've said here previously that it's not actually Gerard. It's the shape of Gerard. My friends, this is the ghost of Judah Zachary, taking the shape of Gerard Stiles. Which I'm going to get into this here too. So Gerard Stiles dies in 1840, or Judah Zachary, if you will, in Gerard's body. That's how I take this, and he haunts Collinwood, right? That's got to be the premise. You would think. At least that's my interpretation. Now, if your interpretation differs, please let me know. So, I love the character of Gerard, the actual character, prior to the possession. Gerard lends a lot of credibility to the Naomi legend, because Gerard himself is a boat captain. If they go way, way back, they could make him the pirate. I think he's very dashing and handsome, and I could see him giving jewels to Naomi Collins. And yes, I'm going to get into that, my theory about Naomi. No, I don't actually think she was given jewels by a pirate, but I'll get into that another time. Now, with this, Gerard, he's a bit clairvoyant. He can sort of tell people's future. And he has no problem interacting with people. It turns out he's going to be blackmailed by Gabriel Collins because Gerard Stiles. Gerard should have been a Collins actually. Gerard Stiles, his real name was Ivan Miller, and it turns out he did some pretty interesting crimes around the world. And Gabriel tries to blackmail him. But the biggest thing that happens to hit Gerard is he ends up with the head of Judah Zachary, which the head of Judah Zachary is actually brought to Collinwood by another Collins who played. I love how John Carlin is a Collins again, and he's holding the head and he's smiling. The picture is synonymous as hell. He's holding the head like it's a lantern or something. Like, hey, look what I got. It's a beautiful picture. I will leave I'll see if the description box will let me leave a link to the picture, but I hope it does. Because the picture's funny. So he brings this the head of Judah Zachary, and he's going to give it to Quentin Collins. Well, it ends up in the hands of, Gerard Stiles. But Gerard soon learns the head has evil intentions, and the head itself has tried to put itself back in its own body by hypnotizing Dr. Julia Hoffman to do so. Yes, Julia Hoffman from the future. Her and Barnabas come from the future to the past. They go from 1970 to 1840 by using Quentin's. Well, Julia uses Quentin's staircase. Barnabas uses the chain, and I did want to mention that. And they come back, and by this time, though, when Barnabas comes back, he's bitten a girl named Roxanne Drew. Yes, that Roxanne Drew, who is a vampire in 1970. So it's Barnabas who turns her. He just doesn't remember because it wasn't him, which, yeah, to me that was confusing too. But how do you not remember biting somebody? I've bitten so many people. I've bitten so many. They didn't say that. I'm making that up, but I'm having a little fun with this video. I've bitten so many people. So Barnabas doesn't obviously remember biting her, but Roxanne isn't going to make it. They're going to change history. Again, Barnabas has a habit of changing history, right? The time-traveling vampire, as I think at Cousin Barnabas has once said, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. But I do think that, them staking Roxanne is interesting. Or her brother staking her. Barnabas gets found out. Because by this, again, a lot of things have happened. Gerard, obviously Judah Zachary has entered Gerard's body. Don't get me wrong, I've said this. I love Gerard Stiles. I love the character. I think they should have somehow, some way, reserve that character for the 1970s. I don't think they needed to go back to 1840 or do a 1995 thing. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's creepy as hell. But I love the character of Gerard Stiles that much. James Storm did an amazing job getting that character over. I don't look at Gerard Stiles as Judah Zachary. I don't. I mean, I know that happened. I know Judah Zachary enters his body. But I love the character of Gerard Stiles, how he's so slick. He's so slick. Just an amazing character. So, what is really, again, so I got into Gerard's ghost, how that happens. That's my interpretation of how Gerard Stiles becomes a ghost. That's actually Judah Zachary. here's my issue with this story. My one big issue. If Gerard dies, if Gerard Stiles dies, and Judah Zachary is in his body when he dies, and it's just Judah fades away as, obviously he's dying because Judah no longer has a body. It took them killing Gerard to destroy Judah's head, which I didn't feel made sense. But, and here's the other part too. And don't get me wrong, I love Dark Shadows. I'm not saying this as a knock, but I got to be honest here. I always look. The one thing you'll get from me most here, other than enjoyment, is honesty. And to be honest, I don't feel this made much sense, especially this story. Simply because when they kill Judah, they do kill Gerard Stiles. Angelique becomes mortal because Judah Zachary is the person who turned Angelique into a witch. Turns out Angelique wasn't born a witch, she was turned into one. So I'm going to get into that in this video too. And she gets captured by Judah, who's in Gerard's body, and her and Judah's minion keep her captive. Well, Angelique kills him with her bare hand. She kills him, and she gets to Quentin's execution before he dies, before anything bad happens, and she says, "That's Judah Zachary." She burns the head of Judah Zachary. The guy, John Carlin's, I want to say Caleb Collins, I could be mistaken, or Carl, again, it's one of those, I think. He shoots him, and he falls dead. He goes down, and you see the head of Judah Zachary materialize real quick and be destroyed, and you see Gerard. I'm sorry, and I felt bad for Gerard because Gerard didn't want to be possessed by him. So I don't, and maybe someone can help me understand this. How does Gerard dying stop stop the events? Because Gerard would have to die for there to be a ghost, and he would have to be possessed, still be possessed. Well, how does killing Gerard cause Judah Zachary's, I don't understand, cause him to exit the body? Because he would have had to die to be a ghost. He's dead. He's a ghost. They say it's Gerard Stiles' ghost. Well, he dies in vain because Judah Zachary was in his body. Well, if he died with Judah Zachary in his body, why would he die without Judah Zachary in his body? Am I making sense? I'm asking too many questions. Without Judah Zachary in his body, how does that alter it? I mean, yeah, they've altered other stuff with Roxanne and that, no doubt. They saved Quentin's ass from execution, no doubt. I feel all 1840 is, and I'm not saying this as a knock, is Angelique's redemption story. And I love Laura Parker. I love Angelique to death. That is, to me, the best television witch ever. But not every character deserves a redemption story. And Angelique, I'm sorry, did not deserve one. Turning a heel babyface isn't always a wise move. Don't get me wrong, she had babyface tendencies. She did do good things when she wanted to, and she did want love, no doubt. I'm not denying that, and I'm not denying she didn't want to. I feel Judah Zachary was more created to get Angelique sympathy more than anything else. And I'd rather her be the heel. That's just me. I'd rather Angelique be a heel. Okay, Barnabas. There are moments Barnabas sees good in her, like during 1897, and again with the Leviathan arc in 1970. So she does do good things. But here's my thing: Barnabas wasn't willing to forgive her for the things she did. Cursing, not just cursing him. This woman caused the death of his sister, caused the death of his mother. Do you see the issue here? The issue I have with this is you're giving a character who caused the death of two of Barnabas' sister and mother a redemption story. Not all characters deserve that. And I get, in 1840 she says, I was cursed to be a witch. I didn't ask to be this. Basically, it's just like Barnabas didn't ask to be a vampire. Just like Quentin didn't ask to be a werewolf. We're doing the same thing with Angelique. It's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Well, Barnabas was the original. Didn't want to be cursed. Didn't want to be a vampire. He was the OG. Well, Quentin were rinsing and repeating. Well, really, Chris first, then Quentin, then Angelique. Yeah, we're turning heels babyface. Now, don't get me wrong, Dark Shadows didn't turn every heel babyface. Count Patoffy was no babyface. But they turned Jeb babyface, too. I mean, so... Again, not every character deserves redemption. If they're a heel, they're a heel. That's just how I feel about it. I love the character. I love the character of Gerard Stiles. And I get why his ghost is a ghost, but to me, Barnabas doesn't really change anything by killing Gerard. Gerard would still be a ghost. Gerard would still be a ghost. That's my interpretation of it. I mean, you can disagree, you're welcome to, but my interpretation is Gerard in every sense should still be a ghost. He dies in vain. I mean, Quentin doesn't die, sure. I mean, because okay, help me understand this. If Gerard would have been successful, if I keep saying Gerard, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. If he would have been successful, okay, then how is Quentin even alive in 1995? How is there a Quentin at all? How is there, you know what I'm saying? The story just doesn't make a lot of sense. I hate to say that. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. It's entertaining. But it just... I still have yet to wrap my head around the whole 1995-1840 thing. I still do. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Wait. I get why he's a ghost. That's Judah Zachary. That's Judah Zachary taking the form of Gerard because he died in Gerard's body. Okay, well, he still dies in Gerard's body. He still would... Nothing would change. He wouldn't leave Gerard's body if he dies. Why would he... Because Angelique ousted him? So what? What does that do? Because she had the head? I don't understand. I don't understand. This is one arc. I just don't understand. Maybe you guys can help me out and explain this. Again, I love the performance of James Storm as Gerard Stiles. I love the chemistry, and Gerard's ghost is creepy as hell. But I just don't understand it. I don't. That's the one arc. I understand the Leviathan arc, but I don't understand this one. Maybe someone can explain it to me. I really can't. I mean, I've explained how it happens, but I can't really fully comprehend how anything changes. I can't. So, I mean, you could say they destroyed the head, but okay, so they didn't destroy the head, and that's how there's a Gerard's ghost. Maybe that's the explanation. I don't know. I mean, that could be. it's mind-boggling, right? Only Dark Shadows can present these complicated questions, and I love it for it. Oh my god. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I went so long. I'm going to try to find that picture for you guys and put it in the description box. It's a really fun picture to see John Carlin in. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys.